Alex, did you fix your internet problems?
By my internet problems, do you mean did I wake up on time? No, no, I did not. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend that I made a mistake, or that the internet was no. All that happened was I overslept like an idiot.
Mm, Well, yes, you have not fallen into a time portal. It is Thursday, now Friday. I am going to be on a flight to New York because my wife is running a half marathon this weekend out there with a bunch of our friends. So we decided we'd just do this early rather than canceling the show because there's some stuff to talk about. We already,
Yeah,
we talked about the Xbox stuff already. We can touch on that a little bit later, but we should get right to the big thing, which is that you're now fully allowed to tell us how much Mario Kart 8 is like the other Mario Karts.
I can. I am freed finally to express myself about Mario Kart 8 and allow me to express that it is some Mario Kart ass Mario Kart. But it is largely, I think, pretty good Mario Kart. I would go so far as to say it's probably my favorite Mario Kart in general since the DS version, not the 3DS, the DS.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I gotta write that review today. So I should probably actually collect my thoughts together on it.
So, I mean, like, have you consistently been playing the Mario Kart games as we all
Yeah.
do, but have you, like, there are some that you kind of, like, the Wii one, I basically skipped. I
Yes.
heard it was not very good. The only times I've played it are I have some cousins out in the East Coast that they just have a Wii, and we sit around and drink and play Mario Kart Wii. That's just more of circumstance as opposed to this is the
Yeah.
version of the game we would like to be playing. Like I think probably most people, despite the fact that Mario Kart Wii sold the most Mario Kart has ever sold, I feel like most people kind of passed on that one, even if
Yeah.
a little bit. And the 3DS one was pretty good,
Yeah.
but I kind of passed on that one too. Like where does 8 kind of fall in the must-have Mario Kart category?
So I think I like the Wii version a little bit better than you did, but
It wasn't
I would
bad.
say it wasn't bad, but I would say that 8 is sort of like like what you kind of wanted the Wii version to be. Like it should have looked better. It should have maybe had some better courses. It should have had a little bit more going on than it did. So it definitely trumps that one. I didn't play a lot of 7. I played like enough to sort of get a feel for it, and then I kind of forgot about it. This one I think I'll keep playing. Like I said, I think it kind of goes back to at the DS level where it's sort of like that was to me one of the best combinations of new and old tracks and mechanics, and I think that was probably my favorite one of the last several years. This one's close to that. It's very fun. It has some of the best new courses anywhere in the series. The Bowser Castle is probably one of the best ones. There's at least 3 or 4 other ones that I think are pretty spectacular. Not a great selection of old courses, but that is probably kind of subjective. Everyone has their favorite old courses, and not everyone's are going to line up. So the fact that I am sitting here lamenting the fact that Coconut Mall is nowhere in there probably means nothing to a good chunk of people that are playing that game. So I would have liked to see some different older courses, but the new ones are mostly all very, very good.
Nintendo's getting into that sweet, sweet DLC. That sure
I
seems like a way. They haven't announced anything for Mario Kart 8, which I'm
and I don't think they will.
surprised. You
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
they'll
think.
do anything?
No, there's nothing in the game itself about like here's where you go buy downloadable anything.
Oh, so
It
there's
doesn't
no
have
mention of that. There's no storefront or anything.
no nothing in there.
That's okay. That's interesting. I'm surprised. It seemed like Mario Kart would be, especially given what you just said, that not necessarily the nostalgia tracks are bad. It's just that everyone has their favorites. That
Yeah,
seems right before exactly what DLC is.
yeah, you
Is
would think. Yeah, you would totally think that would be the way they would go with it, but there's nothing in there to suggest that they will be adding additional tracks anywhere down the road. Uh, which is a bummer because, yeah, like you said, I think that's a perfect fit, but it doesn't have it.
hmm.
Um, Beyond the courses themselves, it plays, I think, quite well. I like the mix of crazy shit they have added to all the tracks. Like you can go underwater now. There are parts where they brought back the whole like gliding through the air or flying stuff. There's also these weird like anti-grav sections of certain tracks that can be pretty cool. But mechanically, this is Mario Kart. They have continued to make Mario Kart. It is still very much Mario Kart. Uh, Most of the gameplay changes are honestly kind of aesthetic. Like it's the fact that you can go all over the crazy loop-de-loops and you're going under the water, and I mean, there are some good shortcuts and other things to look for, but for the most part, it's the same basic gameplay, which is fine. They've added the ability to cancel a blue shell, but only if you have a very specific weapon.
Wait. Explain that. Explain that, because I think that's critical.
There's like an air horn weapon or something that you can use that will destroy everything around you within a certain, like circular pattern.
So you have to have the timing pretty specific in order to get that blue shell, but you can kill
as long
the
as
blue
you
shell.
have the weapon, it's not that hard to cancel it. You just have to, the second the blue shell appears above your head, just hit the button and it goes away. Like that's all it really takes, and that's great. Like it's great that that option is there. You just don't get that weapon very often, especially not in first place. So its usefulness is somewhat questionable.
But it's there. Like
it's there.
That's always been my problem with the blue shell, is not that you should be easily able to negate it, because part of the fun of Mario Kart is, the way that the lineup changes a lot as you're going through each lap, and often, you don't know who's going to win till the very end. But the blue shell just seemed like a design hammer being taken to a problem of trying to make sure the person in first place was brought out of first place at some point. So even if it's difficult in so much as the item is rare to actually negate the blue shell, the fact that there was an option to do that, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to pull off. You have to have the right weapon at the right time, and it's complicated. But once you actually do it, it is satisfying to do it, because it's just like, ha ha ha, fuck you, last place guy, you can't get me.
Here is a critical question. How do you feel about the GameCube Mario Kart Double Dash?
It's toward the bottom of the list, but I don't necessarily think it's as bad as a lot of people think it is.
That is where I stand on it as well.
Yeah, it's nowhere near my favorite Mario Kart. I know some people who swear by it, and God bless them for their simplicity. But it's not a horrible game by any stretch. I don't think there is a horrible Mario Kart anywhere in the bunch. At worst, there is a middling Mario Kart that is not great.
Yeah, I guess that maybe might be the Wii one. The DS one is the last one I spent dozens and dozens of hours with.
Yeah.
Because that game had online multiplayer.
Yeah.
And that was brand new to the series. I was in college. I had a lot of free time. I was, plugged in that little USB stick, the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, into my computer. The DS one was spectacular. Like that was probably my favorite Mario Kart game since probably the N64 one. The N64 one is the one that I spent probably the most amount of time with.
It's an amazing collection of tracks, primarily. Like almost all the new ones in that game are really good. Like nearly all the classic ones are actually classic ones, and it plays spectacularly. This one, I would probably put 8 a little bit below the DS version rankings-wise, and the main reason for that is that they completely fucked up battle mode. Battle mode is genuinely terrible. There's always something, right? Like, there's just always something they get wrong.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean, they fucked up battle mode?
So, it's the same basic idea that you're running around and you got the balloons on your thing and you're just trying to hit people with shells and whatever else.
That's good so far, not fucked up.
But they put the battle mode into the classic courses only.
Wait,
so instead of
no arenas?
There's no arena.
What?
You are just driving around either direction on existing courses and throwing shells at each other.
Oh my god, Alex.
Horrible. It is not fun at all. I cannot believe that they fucked that up.
What the hell?
I know, right? It's so dumb.
You sure you didn't miss an option?
No, I looked everywhere in the options. Like, where is the arena option? Where do I do any of this? And there's nothing. So,
oh my god.
Look, the online play works pretty damn well. All the races I did, even against like crazy European people, ran really well. There's online tournament stuff. There's basically like everything that should have been fucked up with the online surprisingly isn't. Like it has like a couple of minor quirks, but that part they got absolutely right. So I feel like karmically they had to find a piece of the game to just completely obliterate so that they can keep their streak going. And in this case, it was the battle mode.
I guess if there's one thing to screw up battle mode is if you got to pick something. If like Nintendo just said, "Hey, look, we got to screw one of these parts up."
Yeah,
I guess battle mode is better than racing.
I guess
But
it's
it's a
just one of
bummer.
those.
I really enjoy battle mode. Have always really enjoyed battle mode. I mean, the track from Mario Kart 64, the donut track, which is like the I don't remember what it was called, but it was circular. It was like all wood. Like the battle mode is what I've spent a lot of my time with. I like the
Yeah,
racing, but battle mode is pretty important to me.
Super Mario Kart Battle Mode was my shit when I was a kid. Like that was the thing me and my friends used to always play together, and it was super fun. And it has never been better than that era of battle mode. They have never made it better than that, and somehow they have just made it exponentially worse this time around. I don't know why anyone ever thought that was a good idea. It doesn't work. It just doesn't even work well.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's why even put it in. Just say, hey, we're not doing battle mode.
I don't know. I genuinely do not know. It is baffling.
Wario Stadium. That's
Yes,
what.
it's in there.
Yeah.
That is one of the classic courses.
Mm. Mm.
Beyond that, it's Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things right. As a racing game, still very fun. We'll see, how the review turns out, but I definitely enjoyed my time with it, and I'm definitely a fan of a lot of the new courses. But yeah, if you expected anything, transcendent out of this, no, it's
What
not that.
about what about Rainbow Road? What's up with Rainbow Road?
So there's two Rainbow Roads. There's an old
What?
one and a new one. Yeah, the N64 one is in the classic stuff, and then there's the new
Okay,
one.
that's a good selection. That N64 one is a monster.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as monstrous now as it did back then, but it's
Okay, that's
there.
fine.
The new one's fine. It's not the Rainbow Roads are never my favorite courses, but the new one is totally solid.
That's cool. Well, that sounds like Mario Kart.
And now you can't buy it for like 2 more weeks because the reviews embargo's up today, but it's not out until like the 30th. So have fun with that, I
Well,
guess.
well, I think that's Nintendo showing a certain confidence in the game. Knowing pretty well that even if any like average Mario game is still like a pretty good video game. So I think they're hoping that this will roll into sales of Wii U's as people get closer to Mario Kart coming out later in the month. But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm looking forward to picking it up. I'm okay with the battle mode not being great. I'm happy to have an HD Mario Kart.
yeah.
That's
It
and
does
the
look.
online plays good.
Yeah, the online play is really solid. The only thing I don't like is that when you're in a lobby with people, you have to back out of that lobby to change characters and carts, so you kind of need to know what you're going to stick
Hmm.
with while you're playing. But other than that, it ran flawlessly, and it looks amazing. Like, the game looks genuinely pretty spectacular. Like, that's the part that sort of makes me think this is what this is what Mario Kart Wii should have been, because it does look really nice in HD.
Yeah, it's still weird that we're just now getting still
Yeah,
some franchises for the first time in high definition. It's a
it
weird
is.
thing. You're right. It does look pretty spectacular.
Yeah, Wario's butt has never been more hypnotic than it is in this
Mm.
game. It is just, it's there in your face when you're bright. It jiggles. Oh god.
I hope that's an expansive part of your review.
Yeah, no.
Expanded part.
Most of the review is me talking about Wario's butt, and then like I talk about some mechanics, and then I slap some stars on it. I don't know.
That's what being a game critic is all about.
Wario's butt. Yeah.
We had the first Giant Bomb Chicago meetup last night.
How did that go?
It was good for a Wednesday, in which that's not a good day to hold a meetup. I kind of consider it the Giant Bomb Chicago meetup soft launch. Like I didn't like do a formal like invite or anything like that. I didn't ask a bunch of friends to show up. It was mostly just, hey, let's put out there Giant Bomb Chicago. We could do something bigger. I guess I was afraid no one would show up.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's fair beer. Yeah.
I didn't want to invite like a bunch of my friends, like, and then all of a sudden no one shows up. But totally didn't happen. We had like 25, 30 people. We had a good crowd. The Emporium was nice enough to let us camp out in front of their projector. They have this huge, beautiful projector that I was able to plug Splunky directly into. So we played Splunky Deathmatch for a couple of hours, drank some beers, hung out, and then it was a good time. There was a lot of folks that showed up, and it was a good crowd. And I didn't win at Splunky, and it was
Oh.
I don't know why I didn't rig that for myself.
Yeah, that feels like that should have been like, the first thing on your list of things to do. Make sure I win this Spelunky game. Like, what are you doing, man?
I almost won it the first time, and then the second time I should have won it and just flubbed it. We were doing best of five and just completely screwed it up. And what was great is that so Dave Lang forgot. He like texted me. He's like, "Oh, yep, I forgot that was happening." I was like, "Well, way to go, Dave Lang."
Yeah.
And then Max Temkin, he's flying to Austin today. I think he's on a flight right now. They're doing screenings of their tabletop deathmatch reality show, and they're doing one down in Austin. I think either today or tomorrow. So he said that he wasn't gonna be able to come by. And I was fine because I wasn't like going all out and renting the room or anything like that. So, but I texted him and was just like, "Hey, look, this is awesome. I got Spelunky going on the big screen." And he goes, "I'm on my way." And so he drives over, walks in, plays one round of Spelunky Deathmatch in which we both do very poorly. The only win he gets is because he kills me. The only win I got is because I killed him, and then he just walks out and leaves.
Oh.
It's a very Max Temkin thing to do.
Yeah, that does seem like perfectly Max. But overall, good meetup. Good.
It was
Good
good,
times.
yeah. It was good. We're gonna do another one next month. That place is great. Emporium could not. They're like, holy crap! You brought a bunch of people to a place that doesn't have a whole lot going on a Wednesday night. Like anytime you want to come by, like feel free to do whatever you'd like to do. So I'm talking with those folks. It sounds like we'll maybe get something a little bit bigger and proper going at the end of June. We'll be kind of close to the first year anniversary of a thing that it might be a good time to get some folks together to
Yeah.
hang out. So
Yeah.
so look forward to that. So we'll probably try and do something again at the end of next month. And what was nice about it, and I heard from a bunch of the folks that were there, is that playing local multiplayer games, something that I really like to do, something you really like to do. Sports Friends just came out. Samurai Gun's a great game. Nidhogg, a lot of stuff right now. People don't necessarily have a place to go do that.
That's true.
So I think at the very least, what would be fun to do is have the Giant Bomb Chicago meetup become a get together once a month for a couple hours, just plug in some local multiplayer games and just hang out, which I think could be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, you can throw some Mario Kart in there.
That's true. I could throw some Mario Kart in there. If I did that, then I could expense it. I'm doing it for a meetup.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
Who's
that.
helping you out? Who's helping you out?
Thanks, Jeff.
No problem. Wait, what?
Well, he's the one that has to approve the expense.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
So, did you play anything else this week other than Mario Kart?
Well, so I got a pile of games starting to stack up here. Like this showed up yesterday, and I haven't cracked this open at all yet.
They sent me a PS4 one. They don't like me, or are you reviewing
I
it?
don't know. They just sent them to me. I guess they think I'm reviewing them, but I think Jeff is actually reviewing that game. We'll see.
I'm excited to play that game.
I am too. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played it. I played a few hours of it a while ago. We talked about that before, but I have not really gotten to dig into it since then. So I am looking forward to trying that. I just don't know when that's gonna happen because there's a Ring of Honor show on Saturday I'm going to. Like Sunday I'm volunteering. There's all this shit going on. I got to write Mario Kart. I got all these things. When am I gonna play Wolfenstein? When's that gonna happen? I still got Super Time Force sitting there. I got a Transistor code I haven't even redeemed.
I was gonna say, it comes out on Tuesday. Transistor.
Yeah, like fuck. When am I gonna play any of these things? God damn it! I hate the world. I hate everything. Everything's stupid.
Our Beach Thunder's got a pretty good. It's the Wolfenstein Among Us, Alex.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right. That's a begrudging. Okay. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's good. That's good. That's a good one. All right.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna play Wolfenstein either because I'm in the middle of. I've been playing Super Time Force. I've been doing like one stage a night. That's a nice like 45 minutes. It's you go through a world. It's got I think 3 or 4 stages each. Then you fight a boss and then you move on. So I've been doing that with Super Time Force. Kind of trucking through Tex Murphy, and I just don't know where I'm gonna find time for Transistor and Wolfenstein. I want to try and get all those out of the way. When does Watch Dogs come out? Is that the week after that?
God, that is the week after that. That is the very
27th?
end of the month, I think.
Fuck. No games come out in June, right?
I mean, not
Can no games come out in June?
but I'm guessing far fewer games come out in June. Yeah.
Bomb in the AM with Scoops and the Wolfenstein.
Okay, now we got to stop it because there's like Nazi connotations to the whole Wolfenstein thing, and I really don't want that association. So let's just go ahead and nip that one right now. Let's say like cool joke, guys. Thought it was funny. Let's just move on and never speak of it again.
So yeah, have you played any Super Time Force, or you want to play Super
No,
Time
I
Force?
downloaded it and I haven't been able to touch it yet. Like I've been trying to get through all the last of the Mario Kart unlocks and get some online time in. I had to get through the new Walking Dead episode, which I have written a recap of and just need to edit this morning before I
God,
put that out.
that's out too.
It is, and it's a long episode. It is a meaty episode, so
What does
like that
long
is
mean? Like 2.5 hours?
yeah, it's at least 2 hours.
Okay.
And you know, it doesn't like it's pretty harrowing a good chunk of the way through, so it's not like you have a lot of time to sit there and consider how long it is. I just remember looking up, it's like, oh, cool, the sun is way more down than it was when I started this, so I guess this is actually took a while. But yeah, that's
But it's
that.
good. It's good.
It's
Like
very good.
so,
It's I
we're
think it's
continuing on the trajectory of Walking Dead up, Wolf Among Us down.
yeah, currently. Like that's the current trajectory. I think it's one of the best episodes they've done in that series by far. It's a great collection of building up Clem in a lot of interesting ways, like sort of actually explaining why adults are so willing to kind of like let her do these sort of challenging, you know, hardcore tasks because she just keeps proving herself and in ways that aren't, you know, completely ridiculous. And there's a lot of good stuff with the Carver character who kind of takes over that episode in a lot of places. Michael Madsen gives that game a lot of, or gives that character a lot of life in a lot of really uncomfortable life too, and it's good. It's some of the best storytelling they have done in that series. Like I don't know that it necessarily beats the best episodes of last season, but it's close.
Well, then they'll continue a tradition. Well, if you can consider 2 seasons of tradition of episode 3 being perhaps the high moment in the series. The episode 3 last season in The Walking Dead was where Duck didn't make it, and
Yeah,
they have the moment where you have to,
take care of that.
yeah, fuck me, that,
Yeah,
well, that is rough. That, as much as the end of that season, you know, the arc to Lee and Clementine is fantastic. I think the Duck moment might have been the highlight of that season for me, purely because I was genuinely shocked that they put you in a situation where you were going to actually pull the trigger.
yeah.
That's fucked.
That's the thing. It's not a game that's really afraid to put you in the position of actually having to do really horrible things. And I will not say any more about this episode here. There will be a recap going up on the site today that, you know, covers all the spoilers if we want to. But I am not going to say anything else about what happens. Also, everyone freaking about like spoilers from season 1 with the duck stuff. Hey, guess what? That shit came out a year ago. Get over it.
Yeah,
You
that's
should have played it by now then, if that's really what you're concerned about.
yeah. That's I don't feel bad about that. I mean, I feel a little bit bad about it, but yeah, I agree with you. Um, so I played Tex Murphy. Which, do you have any nostalgia for that series? Have you played any of those games?
So I played a little of them, but I was not super into them when they were popular, so I don't have a great deal of nostalgia for them.
I do. Under Killing Moon is one of my favorite games of all time, probably. Not because it's the greatest game of all time, but it's just an interactive B-movie noir, and it's so great. And this new one has all the problems of old games, which is obtuse puzzles that have not been updated for 2014 in any fashion. I think the puzzles are pretty bad. But it is so committed to being that game from the 90s in 2014, you know, but with 4K FMV. 4K FMV. It's
Okay.
fantastic.
All right.
It's just as cheesy as I remember it, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's in terms of, like, there are a couple ways you can do, you know, updates in 2014. You can try and conform to modern gameplay standards, which the game does, you know, in terms of interface, and now it's no longer static environments that you are just, like, you know, clicking through images of. Now you're, you know, navigating a 3D environment and things of that nature. But they pretty much chose to just make another one of those games but now in 2014, and I don't think the game probably works if you have no nostalgia for Tex Murphy, but
Hmm.
if you have any nostalgia at all for Tex Murphy, you will have the most shit-eating grin on your face the entire time until you encounter a puzzle where you have to collect 9 baseball cards scattered throughout a house, and it feels like pixel hunting all over again. And then
Yeah.
and then you'll kind of smile because it's just like you remember it in the worst way, and you'll wish you had put the game on casual mode so you can find where that stupid 9th baseball card is. But then you find it eventually because you pixel hunt and you move on with your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I have just enough to where I will still get the smile on my face if I sit down to play through it because I remember parts of it. You know, I certainly enjoyed FMV games from that time, if not specifically Tex Murphy being my favorite. Uh, that is the part I am sort of worried about, though, because the thing that would always eventually drive me away from those games was the sort of pixel hunty, collecting adventure game trope stuff that, frankly, has never been that great in any, incarnation. Like, it wasn't that great back then. It hasn't been great in any, versions of those types of games they've made in years since. I have a feeling like this will make me maybe eventually want to stop playing it at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you play it on casual mode, you can get hints, and it will light up all the interactive objects in the room. So it essentially allows you to sidestep the pixel hunting
That's good.
if you don't want to interact with that. So that is, in one respect, a way that Tex Murphy acknowledges, we're going to build the game this way, but if that frustrates the hell out of you, here is an option. Unfortunately, they don't let you do that once you're midway through the game. I think at this point, I would probably switch to casual, so I had the option to engage with the hints and the sparkly stuff, but I picked the gamer option, man.
Mm,
But now
yeah.
I kind of regret that option,
You
man.
regret being a gamer?
I regret being a gamer.
I mean, that's a fair thing, I think, to regret.
Oh man, Lausbub in the chat saying the Superhot Kickstarter already reached its goal.
Damn.
hundred
Didn't that
thousand
just launch
dollars.
yesterday?
Yep.
Wow.
You know what? I am not surprised because Superhot is super hot, and
Yeah.
that game the new updated version that they're working on looks amazing.
It's right there in the title.
I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about Superhot becoming a real game. Well, an expanded game. It's a real
Right.
game. What is a game? What is a real game?
Mario Kart?
Yeah, Mario Kart's a real game.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I mean, I played Super Time Force. I'm not sure I have anything else to say other than what we talked about earlier in the week. I like it. I think people should play it. It's a rad game. Play on Xbox One, but I'm sure it's totally fine on 360 as well. That it was
Yeah.
shown on 360 for a long time. Played a little bit of Kirby, but not enough to say anything other than it's a baby game.
Is it cute?
Yeah, it's cute. It looks gorgeous. The art's amazing, and the 3D really pops in that game. Particularly, they do a lot of layering in terms of you'll often be going from the foreground to the background. Donkey Kong kind of does that as well, but that
Right.
game, doesn't actually have, proper 3D. And so, yeah, I can't really comment too much on Kirby in general, except, the first world suggests that. I mean, Kirby has never been a game about difficulty, so I'm not going to knock the game for being spectacularly easy because Kirby games have never been anything but spectacularly easy. They're mostly just fun and charming, and that's what this one seems like as well.
Yeah.
And that's all I've played. You play anything else?
No, that's pretty much all I got right now.
All right, let's see. There's a little bit of news.
A little bit of news.
First, want to drop some questions in the chat. We get to some of those as we round out the show. Rockstar promising next-gen release this fiscal year, which, wow, that could not be more misleading because I am sure that is just Grand Theft Auto 5
Gotta be, right?
for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah, gotta be.
That is not going to be Red Dead Redemption 2 or
They don't
Agent.
have a new game. They have not been developing a new game in secret, and they're just going to put it out this year. Like that's not what Rockstar does.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe a tease for a new Rockstar game at E3 this year.
Sure.
But I suspect that Rockstar promising a next-gen game by March 2015 is Rockstar saying, you know what? I bet people would buy Grand Theft Auto again, and they're probably right.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I like Tan in the chat saying Rockstar Table Tennis 2.
I mean, okay, if that's what they were doing, I'd be pretty excited about that. It's probably not that though. Just saying.
Yeah, I wish it was Bully 2.
I mean, it's definitely not Bully 2. So,
I know. One day they'll make that game. One
yeah.
day they've been trying. I mean, there's been enough evidence in people's LinkedIn profiles that at one point they were making another Bully. I don't know if that game will ever come out, but
Yeah,
they
I
were
mean,
making another Bully.
it could have just been a thing that they tried to do and then canceled quietly, before it never really got off the ground.
The Warriors 2.
Nah, look, well, the Warriors is perfect. Doesn't need to be met. Doesn't need another one. It's fine.
Body Harvest 2.
Go on.
I really like that. Acid Brandon 18. That's
Yeah.
Body Harvest 2. That would be great if just out of nowhere, hey, we're gonna go back to our roots. Body Harvest was a cool game.
Gonna make another Smuggler's Run.
I really liked the first Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, it was all right.
They made a couple of those, right? At least 2.
Yeah. Made a couple of State of Emergencies too. Well, actually, they only made the first one.
They didn't even make the first one. They just
Yeah. The second one was a different publisher.
Agent.
What a weird thing that was.
Yeah. Game was announced and then just poof. Rockstar doesn't seem like the kind of company to back off from a game once they've announced it, and that game just nothing.
Maybe it never existed at all.
Table Tennis 2 for Kinect. Ha! That would be funny.
Great timing. Spectacular timing.
You see this? They announced all this Xbox stuff. Microsoft offering a connectless SKU now. It will be on sale on June 9th. But Microsoft was also offering refunds in June following an update to Xbox Live, which is going to allow folks that don't have Gold to experience Netflix and Hulu and Internet Explorer and other apps that have previously been behind Gold. And essentially, you can get a prorated refund.
Really?
The reason you were subscribing to Gold was for those apps, you can opt to get a prorated refund starting in June, which they didn't have to do that, and that seems awful classy on their part.
Yeah, that seems like it's the kind of move that I would never have expected them to think through ahead of them actually doing that. Like, I would have expected that to be the sort of thing that they did after they got a deluge of emails from people saying, well, I signed up for this, why am I not getting this? Like, as a response, not necessarily as a proactive, get ahead of the game kind of move. So that's crazy that they are actually doing that. I am surprised and kind of delighted that they've actually gone to the trouble of making that happen before a million people complained.
Yeah, it's just well, here's the thing, though. I wonder if the reason they would do something like this is because, they know how much apps are getting used, that they don't suspect they will take much of a hit by offering this. But it looks really good. I don't mean to take away from the idea that it looks good, because it's a very consumer-friendly, nice option to be offering when they're making a change like this. It is shocking that they would do something like this, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not the kind of move you expect a major corporation like that to do of its own volition. So yeah, that is surprising, but it's good, and maybe I'll be like, yeah, no, I was using Gold just to get those apps.
I can't remember the last time I played a multiplayer game.
Titanfall, I guess. So yeah,
I guess I sort of have to keep it.
Yeah,
because of my job, but I also think I have like another year on it.
I have at least like 9 months, so yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I have to worry about that anytime soon. I think it's odd that one of the wrinkles that came out of some interviews that people were doing with Phil Spencer and some other folks following this news was that you're still going to need Xbox Live Gold to play like Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
Which they couch that in our policies are evolving. Maybe that is just one that they can't stomach or will come later. It just seems odd that you will still need Gold to play. Like, MMOs seem to fall into the same camp of a Netflix, in which you are already paying for a separate subscription service why should you have to pay for another subscription service to access that subscription service? It
Yeah.
just seems a little bit weird.
Yeah, I think that is weird. It would be one thing if Bethesda was looking at somehow either dropping or at least lightening the subscription for that game on those platforms, but it doesn't sound like they are. I mean, whatever. That game's gonna be free to play in a year anyway, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Chicken 008 asks, Alex, what is your favorite baby character in Mario Kart?
Uh, Whatever one is being murdered on the course at the time that I'm watching it being murdered. That's my favorite one.
That's terrifying, Alex.
Yeah, I don't like the baby characters. The baby characters are not enjoyable. There's 4 of them in the game: Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Disney, and they're all as annoying as any baby character in that game has ever been. So, I don't know. Shy Guy, I guess. I don't have a good. There's my favorite baby character is the one I'm not playing. So
That's fair. That's fair. Daro asking thoughts on the supposed E3 conference leaks. They're probably all fake.
probably, I'm gonna say like 75% chance. Sure, they're all fake.
Saying The Last Guardian's going to show up at E3 is not a leak.
That's cute, is what that is. That's adorable that someone thought that would be convincing.
It's probably true. I bet it probably will be there this year.
Oh, yeah?
I'm willing to bet that.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I don't.
Really?
I have no hope left at this point for that game or its existence.
Here's what I look forward to, even if it doesn't show up. Especially if it doesn't show up. I guess this is the only way this could happen if it doesn't show up, is then all Sony executives being asked again, hey, where's The Last Guardian?
Yeah.
Hey, where's The Last Guardian?
Yeah.
Hey, where's The Last Guardian?
Can we have a pool dad? Can we have a pool dad? Can we have a pool dad? Like, that's, yeah, no, I know. And I always look forward to that. It's why I don't think it'll be there, because I want to see another year of people just incessantly asking about that game and people still trying to find new ways to back off of that subject.
Memu asking, where's Jeff this week? Judges Week. He's in Los Angeles seeing video games. Which also help us figure out what exactly we're doing for E3. He gets a chance to see some stuff that is not announced. He doesn't see press conference stuff. That shit's on lockdown. But
yeah,
it at least lets us know, what exactly, what kind of guests we should be looking at in the last week when we're hurriedly trying to figure out holes to fill for our night shows. But I'm getting excited about these night shows, Alex. We've had some confirmations this week.
We have.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it, but
I'm going to spoil one. I'm going to spoil one for the audience. I locked in a big exclusive yesterday. I'm very excited to have him on the show.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead.
John Vignacchi from Disney Interactive will be joining us on the E3 After Hours show. I'm very excited to announce this.
Wow, that was under embargo.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I had to put it out there. I could not wait. Embargo buster. Everyone needs to know.
Yeah. Well, the other ones that we've had confirmed this week that I'm excited about, I refuse to disclose until they show up the night that they show up, because I don't think I feel like that will be the best way to get them to not show up.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way to ensure that won't happen. So let's just keep it under wraps. I'd mostly throw the Johnny V thing out there because, I feel like people are going to be, they were wondering, they weren't sure. I wanted to allay some fears, but yeah, let's keep the rest under wraps.
It's a very Nintendo thing to do. Playing it safe. Get Johnny V.
Yeah.
Johnny V is like the Mario Kart of Giant Bomb guests.
Wow. Okay.
What? Why'd you take that? Why'd you take that as a derogatory comment?
I don't know. I mean, Mario Kart is kind of like the most milquetoast franchise there is.
Wow,
it's just like they just do the same thing again and again and again.
Johnny, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Alex said that. Will you be filming from a porn set again? Says Jeff. I don't know. We have a decent setup this time.
I mean, there's still the possibility because it is a place in Los Angeles.
I'm sure sex
porn
has
could
happened.
have been filmed there. Yeah, it could have happened, but it's not a porn set. No.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No really other questions. Did we already had a Bombin in the AM this week? I don't mind if this is a shorter show.
Yeah, and we did our thing on the Microsoft news, so like we've covered a lot here at this point.
Yeah. What are you getting up to this weekend?
So I'm going to the Ring of Honor versus New Japan show in on Saturday, which is a live wrestling show that I'm very excited about. I also am doing my volunteering thing again on Sunday, and then somewhere in there I'm going to try and play Super Time Force. I'm going to try and play some Transistor. I'm going to try and play some Wolfenstein, but God knows if any of that is actually going to happen.
Yeah, and then we'll try and meet up because I'm going to be in your city, but I don't know where.
Yeah, I don't know when we're actually going to do that because her marathon's like happening around
Sunday. So we have Saturday. People will probably be meeting up. I'll meet up with some folks. I don't know. I'll let you know. New York's. I don't know. New York's a big city. Like I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm going to let you know.
It is a large city that covers a lot of ground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Queens. You gotta find your way. Like someone will have to find our way into the middle. I don't know if we're going to do that on this trip, but if we can, we should.
We'll see. Yeah, so I'll be out there. I'm going to try and finish Hitman Go on my flight to New York. That's my plan.
That
I'm
seems
playing
like
a lot of that
game. Yeah.
That game is fantastic. You should buy Hitman Go. General internet audience. Hitman Go is a fantastic little game, and one should support these kinds of mobile games instead of trying to make an actual mobile Hitman game. Hitman Go is pretty good.
Yeah. I downloaded it. I messed with the first couple of levels. It seems pretty rad. I have just not had the time to actually sit down and do like a long playthrough of that. But I will have my own flights coming up soon, so that will probably take up some of that.
Oh, I also played the Outlast Whistleblower DLC. We did that.
That's right. You did a video for that.
We did that for Spookin' with Scoops this week. It's good. I think the Whistleblower DLC condenses the Outlast experience in a really great way. Whereas that main game is 6-7 hours. The DLC is supposed to be 2 to 3. So I think I'm about halfway through, and we'll probably finish the rest on a Spookin' with Scoops next week. But one of the things that I was thinking about, like it hits the ground running so fast and just never lets up in a really satisfying, also horrifying way, that games have the expectation that they're going to be long.
Right.
Like, the bare minimum, 4 or 5 hours, and that is just antithetical to building tension, is having to sustain that over such an extended period of time. And the idea that this game is, this add-on is about 3 hours, seems like that could be a satisfying way for a developer to really maximize that time, as opposed to having to find ways to pad out that experience in order to, fulfill this need that some of us, this expectation that games are supposed to be longer than 90 minutes. Like I would be okay if someone just wanted to make a 90-minute horror experience and just get in and out. That seems in line with what the genre's strengths are, which are building tension, releasing that, and then moving on.
Yeah. I have nothing to add to that. I want to play more of it, so I'm going to soon.
Yeah, Outlast was a lot of fun. It's just a roller coaster. It's got a shitty story, and this one seems a little bit better. The premise is a little bit better. Like the premise of Outlast is that you get an email. You're a journalist who goes to record atrocities that are occurring at this mental asylum that you then find out are weird science experiments. This one, you are the person who sent that email, and then you get found out. And then you are trying to escape the base/institution while all hell is breaking loose. It's a much better setup for why one would be in the middle of all this shit.
Sounds a lot more exciting too. So
yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I recommend if folks enjoyed Outlast and don't want to watch me play it, you should check it out because it seems pretty good. But I'll talk to you on Monday. Hopefully I'll play The Walking Dead on Sunday night. We fly back reasonably early, that I would still be able to maybe squeeze that in. But
I won't make you edit that recap because it's full of spoilers. Yeah. I don't want to ruin that for you, so I won't make you do that.
So we'll be back on Monday. I don't have a guest lined up. Maybe that'll change between now and then. But we had a good run of guests, so there's a lot of games coming out. So if we just talk about games, we'll probably be okay there as well.
I'm going to play some video games this weekend.
Cool. That seems like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. I will talk to you on Monday. I might talk to you this weekend.
You might. Oh.